You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, April 8th, 2022. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about the sin of greed. We've already talked about how greed is loving money and possessions too much, how greed is a sin because it forces us to stop trusting God, to worry about our money and possessions, and to think that we can create heaven for ourselves here on earth. We also looked at how Jesus demonstrated a life free of greed, how he was born to poor parents, and he chose to die with nothing, owning and having nothing. So Venerable Fulton Sheen pulled out two lessons for us. The first of these lessons was that the more we have, the more ties we have to possessions and money here on earth, the harder it will be for us to get to heaven. The second lesson, which we're going to talk about today, is that we need to accept the fact that we will never be fully satisfied here on earth. We all think that we will be, though, don't we? We all think that if I can just save up enough money and get a Nintendo Switch, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be satisfied. Or maybe an adult thinks, if we could just have a better, nicer house in a better neighborhood with the right kitchen, then I'm going to be really happy. Or if we think, if I can save up enough money where I have this huge bank account, or I won the lottery and I had millions of dollars, then I would be just so satisfied and so happy. We keep thinking these things, but I think all of us also know the truth. The truth is that we're going to get to that milestone, whatever it is, or we have the Nintendo Switch, or we have a better house, or we have a big bank account. And what are we going to feel? We're going to feel dissatisfied still. Now, oftentimes when that happens, when we feel dissatisfied, then we just move the marker out a little further. Oh, okay, it wasn't a Nintendo Switch. It's this other gaming system. That's what's going to make me happy. Or it's not this house. I need to redo this house. Then I'll be happy. Or the bank account's not bigger. But we're never going to be satisfied. And the sooner that we can realize that nothing in this world will satisfy us, we can start pursuing the one thing that will satisfy us. And that, of course, is God. God is so good that he made us in a way where we can feel, we can know that this world will not make us happy. No matter what we do or what we accomplish, there's always going to be an emptiness and a longing. And God created us that way, almost like we have a compass inside of us that's saying, no, not that way. Nope, not that thing. Keep spinning until you finally start walking toward God. The only thing that can quell that restless desire inside of us is God. And I'll be the first to tell you that over and over again, I find myself chasing things that I think will make me happy. Maybe it's honor. Maybe it's this new shiny thing. We chase it, we finally get it, and it's always disappointing. It's because this world is not heaven. We are not in heaven yet, my friends, and we will not be satisfied at all until we get there. So the big sin of greed, Satan, is so tricky and so mean, trying to convince us to create heaven here for ourselves. But we tell him, we say, we know that this is not heaven. We can feel the restlessness of our hearts. We can feel that we are dissatisfied, and we know that the only thing that will satisfy us is God, is life, eternity with him in heaven. So Sprouts, let's pledge today to reject greed and to get to heaven together. So no matter who you are with, I want you to turn to them, grab their hand, and say, I will see you in heaven. I will see you in heaven. Turn around to everybody and say that. And as you say it, really believe, I'm going to hold this person accountable to live a good and holy life. and I'm going to let them hold me accountable to do the same. And so, Sprouts, everyone listening, no matter where you are, my friends, I will see you in heaven. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Just one more thing, if you are doing some Easter basket prep, we encourage you to come and shop the Catholic Sprouts store. It's a great, great way to support this podcast and also to get some fun Catholic goodies for the kids that you love. Our favorite to be included in the Easter basket is the Adoration board book for little ones, or the book of Catholic saint patterns for perler beater cross stitch for older kids. You can find direct links to both of these books in the notes for this podcast episode.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.